The most powerful but demented man in America just got stopped in his tracks by the most meekest government agency in D.C., and Trump is already blowing a gasket. I'm going to break down the details of how yet another government agency is hauling Trump into court to keep him from destroying the country. So hit that subscribe button in order for us to continue to bring you the kind of in-depth coverage that mainstream media just refuses to provide. And could there be a more vivid example of corporate media rolling over than Trump's destruction of the East Wing? And sure, it caught everyone by surprise when Mango Mussolini first sent in the wrecking crews, especially after he said this.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite place. I love it.
But with Trump, every statement is a lie. And so sure enough, America woke up one October morning to find this happening.
But Democrats are slamming the ballroom's construction amid a 3-week government shutdown and calling for President Trump to stop.
And it was all the media could do to just barely report on it. And then they couldn't be bothered. And really, who could blame them? It was beyond unbelievable that Trump tore down the East Wing, but no one tried to stop him, even when the first backhoe started its thing. Where was Chuck Schumer, our fighter? Here he is.
The American people are suffering in the greatest healthcare crisis we faced in decades, and what is Donald Trump focused on? Destroying the East Wing of the White House, which these two men built. It's another ego project for Donald Trump. He wants to feed his enormous ego and ignore the suffering of the American people. What a disgrace. Democrats are going to hold his feet to the fire.
Wow, that showed Trump all right. So Schumer discovered the cell phone could be used to record video and went all out. He should have been racing across the street to file a lawsuit. He didn't. And neither did Hakeem Jeffries, and neither did the National Trust for Historic Preservation, which is chartered by Congress to preserve the historical buildings of Washington, D.C. Well, they learned their lesson about being caught with their pants down by going into court today to seek an injunction to stop Trump from building his ballroom. His very excellent ballroom. Needless to say, the National Trust does not want a ballroom. As they stated in their lawsuit, no president is legally allowed to tear down portions of the White House without any review whatsoever. Not President Trump, not President Joe Biden, and not anyone else. They also argued that, and no president is legally allowed to construct a ballroom on public property without giving the public the opportunity to weigh in. President Trump's efforts to do so should be immediately halted, and work on the ballroom project should be paused until the defendants complete the required reviews. Reviews that should have taken place before the defendants demolished the East Wing and before they began construction of the ballroom, and secure the necessary approvals. So now, as the BBC reports it, the lawsuit argues that the White House broke the law in 3 different ways. First, by beginning construction without filing plans with the National Capital Planning Commission. Then, by not seeking an environmental assessment of the project. And finally, by declining to seek authorization from Congress. At first, Trump's White House just stonewalled the press, but they finally released this statement. President Trump has full legal authority to modernize, renovate, and beautify the White House, just like all his predecessors did. And just how typical is it of the Trump White House to make that statement and leave out the tiny little detail that all his predecessors got approval before making changes? And if the courts have learned anything about Team Trump, it's that they should grant an injunction and then just absolutely drag their feet when it comes to hearing the appeals that the White House is sure to file. Because even this corrupt Supreme Court is going to have a hard time ruling against the final argument of the National Trust. The president is violating the property clause of the Constitution, which reserves to Congress the right to dispose of and make all rules regarding property belonging to the United States. But nothing, and I mean nothing, caps this story better than the fact that Trump stiffed the construction company that tore down the East Wing. That is just pure Trump. And all you hard hats went out there and voted for him. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. You'll not only help out our channel, you'll be taking concrete action and helping get rid of Trump and the MAGA movement who ushered him in.